had a mission, so that was a no right from the start, and then the fun started. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is May. If you're let's give this another shot. After taking a month off, I'm definitely a little bit rusty. Sorry if you hear a little bit of shaking, a little bit of movement. I am actually taking care of a fur baby. This is my in-laws baby, so my husband's sister. And she has been with us the past week, and as you know, if you have any fur babies, they just love to be around you. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Anyways, let's get into today's video, which I'm so excited to share with you guys. I have so much to share. Now, I'm sure you guys want to see the handbag reveal first, and I promise you, I kind of really wanted to share the handbag first, but there's a story time, you guys, and everything ties in. So at the end, when I share the bag, it definitely will mean so much more. However, I will leave on the screen linked when it is that I do that kind of reveal, because it's not an unboxing. I didn't bring back any boxes. It is a reveal, so I'll link the timestamp down below in case you want to fast forward to that. If you're here for the full-on experience and story time, let's dive right in. I went into Europe with two bags in mind. I had the Sac de Jour from YSL, which I mentioned in a previous video. And then there was a specific Hermes bag that I did want to hunt for. So while I was in Europe, I actually ended up getting the Mulberry Darlie. So this little cutie, we were actually at the Florence Mall outlet. And even though it wasn't discounted, I still saved money by buying it abroad. But yes, I ended up adding that bag. So I really kind of started thinking, like, what route do I want to go with my handbag collection? The Sac de Jour YSL, I wanted it a nude color, and that bag is very accessible. So I felt like it really wasn't going to make or break any kind of thing within my handbag collection at the moment. So I quickly realized that maybe I would wait that one off. We are going to Paris next year for my brother and my sister-in-law's wedding. So that would be kind of like a cute souvenir to get there. Then I headed the route of maybe adding something from an Italian brand. I did pop into Prada and saw an East-West style, which was absolutely stunning. Unfortunately, it was a little bit out of the price point for that particular style. I still think that that's a very trendy style, and even though I want to add it into my collection, I've said it before, I don't want to go over the $1,000 price mark. So that was that. So I stuck with Hermes. I was like, you know what? I really would love to have like a shopping experience in the Hermes boutique. And who knows, maybe I click with an SA and I'm able to get the bag that I want. First stop was Florence. I went into the boutique and there was a lady standing and she kind of asked, are you looking for anything in particular? I was also on the hunt for this rodeo. I've shared how I love the pairing of like the taupe and the black with my black Picotin, which I switched with my sister-in-law. So I told her I have a few things in mind. I'm going to take a look around the boutique and then I'll let you know once I'm ready. She's like, perfect, that works. Did that, let her know. She assigned me an SA. Super sweet girl. So let me share with you what I picked up with her, and then we'll get into the details. So I ended up picking up some beauty pieces. I did not do gel on my nails for this trip. We were gonna be there for a month and I knew I would like to switch my color. So I ended up picking up a red nail polish. The first polish that I have from Hermes is a red polish, and I have gone through the entire bottle. Like, it is rest in peace time for it. So this is Rouge Casaque number 64, and it is a beautiful like cherry red. I loved it. Then you guys know I have been loving the Hermes lip shines. It's actually the one that I'm wearing now, their newest limited edition one. So I wanted to pick up another one and I picked up this one. This isn't limited edition. This is part of like their regular line, and I love the color. It is like a really pretty pinky shade. I actually wore it a ton while we were over there because the SA also recommended me to pair it with a lip pencil, and I've previously owned a lip pencil from Hermes and I love them. So it gave me a little bit more of color than these already do. I feel like these have a great color payoff. So those were my kind of like beauty pieces that I picked up with her. And then she did ask about the Pegasus that I was inquiring about. She's like, I'm gonna take a look at the back, you know, and see if we have any. She came back and she said, unfortunately, we don't have any. And then I was like, okay, let me look at some of your silk pieces because I do want to find a twilly to match my Kelly. So I haven't really found a perfect match for my Kelly in the color taupe. So she brought out a few silk pieces and I think we have a winner. and that is what this one is. And I think it is the perfect match, and I also feel like it's going to pair beautifully with the other bags that I have. I will pop up the name of the Twilly up on the screen, but it is this one. So you do have a ton of really pretty kind of pastel shades, but at the same time, you do have shades that really will pick up on the taupe color, and I love that. I feel like the color is going to go so good. Oh my god, yes, it looks so good. So I can't wait to put her together and kind of style her with my Kelly, and I'm so happy that I was able to kind of find something that actually matched perfectly. All right, so that was that in that boutique. Then I was talking to her, and then I did ask her in regards to handbags. So I asked her for the garden party in the size 23. So it's the new mini garden party. I know that they initially were released with the canvas material and the leather combination. However, as soon as I saw that they were being released in all leather combinations, I was hooked. I've always been a garden party fan. However, I do feel like the 30 is a little bit too large for my particular lifestyle. So the mini was such a cute, practical size. So I went ahead and asked her. She said, let me go ahead and take a look, which was a good sign because she didn't just say, no, we don't have any. She went back, took a look, and then came back and said, unfortunately, we don't have any in stock. However, I do have an in the loop. I am not a fan of that bag, unfortunately. I just don't like the style for me personally. So I didn't even bother to ask her what color or to bring it out because I knew I was gonna say no, and I'm not there to waste anybody's time. So I was like, you know what, thank you very much, but unfortunately that's not the style that goes with me. So she's like, no problem. Take down my information, text me, because we were gonna be in Florence for about 2 weeks. And she's like, if anything comes in, we'll stay in touch. Perfect. I kind of had my hopes up, I'm not gonna lie, but I did not hear from her throughout the 2 weeks that we were there, and we headed off on the remainder of our trip. We visited the Italian countryside, which was absolutely stunning. If you guys followed me on Instagram, I know I bombarded you with stories, but it was so beautiful. And then after there, we went to Bologna. So again, went to the Hermes boutique, tried to shoot my shots. I went inside, a gentleman started helping me, and he's like, is there anything you're looking for? I primarily asked for the Pegasus first, and then I also mentioned that I did want to see if they had any handbags in stock, in particular the mini garden party. He said, let me look at the Pegasus, but unfortunately we don't have any mini garden parties in stock. So that was a no right from the start, and I was like, okay, it is what it is. Again, I know how this works, and if you get it, you get it, you guys. I'm not gonna get into it. It's like we all know how the whole Hermes debacle, you know, kind of goes. So I was not upset. I was not gonna be pushy. I was not gonna buy things that I didn't want in order to maybe get offered the bag when I asked for it. That was not gonna be the route that I was gonna go. So he brought out a Pegasus, and it was an all black Pegasus with the wing in an exotic, and I liked it, but I hesitated, and like I wasn't ready for that one to come out in a way, and I was like, I think it's gonna look weird with the all black Picatinny. So I went ahead and told him, no thank you, I'm not interested. Okay, we left. Bologna passed. We had a great time in Bologna. I actually loved the city, which wasn't the first impression that we were thinking about when we got there, but when we left, we were like, this was such a great city. And then our last stop before heading home was actually Milan. So we literally arrived at Milan midday, and we were leaving the next morning at like 7 o'clock in the morning. However, I had a mission, and that was to visit the Hermes boutique. Headed out to lunch. After lunch, headed straight to the Hermes boutique. And that was chaotic. The Hermes boutique in Milan, I believe, is 3 floors. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I walked in, a gentleman kind of greeted me, was like, hi, is there anything that you're looking for in particular? And I felt like how chaotic the boutique was. So I was like, I'm not gonna do the like, I'm gonna look around kind of thing. I'm gonna tell him what I'm here for. So I said, hi, I'm actually looking for a Pegasus, and I also wanted to see if there's any possibility that you guys may have a mini garden party in in stock. He's like, okay, that's actually part of the leather goods department, so it is on the second floor. Go ahead and head up to the second floor. There's someone that's gonna greet you there, put your name down, and let you know when an essay is ready. Perfect, thank you so much. Headed up to the second floor. There was a very nice young lady that greeted us, asked us what we wanted, wrote our name down, and then just told us, you can go ahead and look around. Once we're ready, we'll go ahead and, you know, find you or get you. Perfect. So I started looking around the leather goods department. There were so many beautiful bags on display. I did not take pictures. I did not take videos for obvious reasons. I don't want to come across as a reseller, especially going in looking for a handbag. Like, these are kind of things that I feel like I need to think about, because I want the highest possibility of being able to get offered the bag if the bag is in stock. So for me, I was just not going to go about, you know, starting to film and starting to take pictures and all of that. So we honestly waited for, I want to say, a good like 35 minutes. The lady came and was like, look, I'm so sorry about the wait. Can I get you water, coffee, anything like that? We did ask for a bottle of water, but it was very nice that she still acknowledged, you know, that there was a little bit of a wait. And then the fun started. So the lady that actually came to help us, I had no idea was going to be the one that was going to help us, but was dealing with somebody that was being a little bit rude to the other lady that initially took our name down and like wrote down our information. So she kind of had to deal with that. Like, they went to like a separate spot and was talking to like the gentleman and like his partner, you know, besides. And then I was like, oh, this is not going to be good, because she's probably kind of already like in a bad mood. I come from service, so I know how it is dealing with customers when they're upset, you know, trying to calm people down, or when somebody just wants to be rude and doesn't want to, like, you know, understand what the policy is or whatever. So I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. You know, she's probably going to be upset. She's not going to be in the mood. So I was like, it is what it is. I know how I am and, you know, how I treat people. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens. So she was like, hi, how are you? How can I help you? And we said hello like in Italian. We were like, oh, ciao, you know, blah, 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 whatever. Rudy loved talking Italian the whole time we were there. We were actually practicing. Just a little side note, we started taking some classes before. So yeah, so she said hello and I was like, okay, I'm looking for a Pegasus. And she's like, okay, let me see what I have. So she came back and brought out 2 Pegasus. So she brought actually 2 Rodeos. I wanted the one with the little wing. One was all gold, so literally like exactly like my Birkin. And then the other one was like a mix of like blues, which I really didn't have anything that I wanted, and I really wanted like the black and a taupe one. So I was like, okay, no, you know, do you have anything else? And she's like, let me look, you know, in my tablet. And she started looking. She's like, was there anything else that maybe you were looking for? And I was like, actually, I wanted to see if you guys had a mini garden party in stock. Oh, I forgot to mention, they had 2 mini garden parties on display, but they were the canvas and leather combination. So I'm glad that I was able to like kind of see it there. They were so cute. One was in blue and the other one was in orange, and they were super adorable. Again, I wanted the leather combination. So back to the essay, when I told her about the handbag, she was like, those unfortunately are coming in very sporadically. I'm not sure we have any. I know that what we have for sure is a mini Hassan. I don't know what the name is. I'll pop it up on the screen. I'll pop up a picture. I had already known of that bag, so I immediately said no. I was like, oh no, thank you. You know, I don't like that style, but thank you anyways. She's like, yeah, the mini garden parties are very difficult to come across. So she kind of didn't say yes, but she didn't say no. It was kind of weird. I was like, okay, I guess I'm not getting the bag. So she ended up popping up with a Pegasus option, and let's get into that, because I know I've been teasing you guys long enough. So here it is, and it ended up being the black with the actually accent wing, the original one that the gentleman from Bologna had shown me. So when she went on her tablet and was searching for what else they had, she was like, okay, this is the one that I had. And I honestly was low-key excited that she showed me this one again, because it really did stay in the back of my mind So I wanted to share with you guys how I thought it would look really, really cute with my picketing. I think we could do like an all black sort of monochromatic moment, and then obviously that beautiful statement wing would sort of be like the accent of it. Oh my god, this is so fun. I love this. I love the kind of monochromatic vibe again that it gives. So we ended up going for this little cutie. I was very excited that she actually brought it out and kind of, you know, still had it, because as I said, it did stay in the back of my mind. So she brought it out. I said, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take it, thank you. And then before leaving, I did say, I know that you have some mini garden parties, you know, and display. Can I go ahead and just play with them, because I want to make sure that I love the size? She's like, yes, absolutely. So she had already like softened up, you know. I think she had forgotten the interaction with the other couple. We kind of, you know, just started talking. I was previously talking to her about my picketing. Then we headed to the display side and she brought out both colors, and then I kind of started playing around with it. I asked her about the leathers, you know, what leather they came in, and I feel like I softened her up a little bit. I don't know, you guys. Again, this is all assumptions. This is all kind of me putting just what happened into my mind and making an idea out of it. But she turns to me and she's like, what color did you want the garden party in? I was like, I kind of really like a pop of color for this one, just because it is a small piece, so I think it would be fun. However, I'm not opposed to neutrals, and I started naming a few neutrals. I named beige Marfa. I mentioned to her any kind of like deep gray. And I was just throwing out color names because honestly, the mini garden party is so new that I don't even know what shades it does come in. I know that I've seen it in the Rouge Ash, which is absolutely beautiful. But you guys know I already have a very deep burgundy handbag collection going, and I didn't want to add another piece in that color. And after she said that, she also asked me, have you shopped in this boutique before, to kind of pull up my profile, which we all know is very typical of Hermes. They want to see if you are, one, a loyal customer, which is what they kind of, you know, want to base their brand around. And second, just to see your purchase history in general. Maybe they want to see if you already got a bag during that trip. I know that that happens, you know, when you shop in Paris a lot. So I did tell her, no, I've never shopped in Milan, but we did just come from Florence, and we kind of, you know, she was like, oh, you visited Florence. So we started talking about that also. And she was like, okay, let me have your information. And she pulled up my, you know, profile. Again, I had just purchased a nail polish, a lip pencil, a lipstick, and the twilly. So not much history, but you know, we had been chatting already. I had actually shown her pictures of a nugget and truffle, so we kind of had already been getting to know each other a little bit. And just like that, to my surprise, she was like, okay, let me go to the back, see what I have. I was like, what? You may have actually something. I was so excited. I was so surprised. I was like, oh my God, this is happening. I honestly, like, I was like, this is gonna be the best souvenir to end this trip with. So, but I was also extremely, extremely nervous, because you guys know how I am with color. And I was like, what is she going to bring? So here's what we got. We did get something, we did accept, and she is beautiful. Meet Blueberry. So she came back with a box. I actually was not looking at her. My husband was, and he's like, she's coming with a box, and I low-key almost freaked out, and I was like, no, she's not. And she was like, can you come with me? Let's go to another space. And I was like, absolutely, wherever you take me, I will follow. And we went actually to the jewelry section, and she had the box. She's like, okay, I was able to get a color. It is blue. And one of the shades that I had mentioned to her was actually, it's like a gray bluish. I'll pop up the name on the screen. And I like the shade sort of, you know, like the family of the shade. So I had actually mentioned that one. And when she said blue, I thought it was going to be like a pastel blue. And my heart kind of sunk, because as I was thinking about things, I was like, I don't think that's going to fit like into my wardrobe. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to like tell her no. But she slowly revealed, and then I saw the pop of blue, and I was in shock. I will be completely honest with you guys. You guys know I don't like lie or sugarcoat or just make up a story around here. I was in shock because it wasn't what I was expecting. It was either that like pastel blue, or I thought she was gonna lean more towards like a navy blue. Again, because I don't know in what colors the mini garden parties are actually coming. So I took the bag. I was like, can I play around with it? She's like, absolutely. I was wearing jean denim and then a off-white sort of sweater and then a scarf. She looked so beautiful with that outfit. And then of course I just started running through my mind of like my wardrobe, my outfits, you know, how much I've gotten into blues lately. I'm super into navies. I'm really loving also like beigey brown tones, and I feel like she would be such a fun pop for that. So in my mind I was putting together all these looks. Obviously she would go perfect with black. She would also be a great option for like a winter white kind of outfit, you know, to kind of like use her throughout the year. And I just started looking at her in different lightings, and guys, I started loving her more and more every time that I looked at her. So here is the newest addition to our handbag collection, to our Hermes handbag family, and I love her. And then of course I had to add a little bit of a twilly touch to her, and I thought that going like a navy sort of look would go perfect, because again, I do plan on pairing her with like kind of like denim navy looks for the most part, and then just playing around with different colors in my wardrobe. Okay, future editing May, I was so excited to share with you guys my piece that I forgot to share, the savings, which is huge. So I've previously noted on other videos that shopping abroad for us coming from the States, it's incredible, especially if you're shopping in the European Union, because you do get to claim VAT refund. Now for Hermes, they did not disappoint, you guys. The cost of the mini garden party in the US as of May 2025 is $4,300. In the European Union or in any kind of European country, it is 3,000 euros. So with conversion, everything, all calculations, this is how much I saved. If I would have bought it here in the US, I would have paid, I have the calculator up on my screen, I would have paid 4,600. Now, buying it in Europe, the cost of the bag alone in Europe is 3,000 euros. So there alone, I'm saving over $1,000. However, I do get to claim that VAT refund, and when I claim that back, in total, what I ended up paying for the mini garden party in euros, conversion, all that good stuff, was $2,900. Almost $1,600 savings. Incredible. I mean, again, I don't go, and obviously with Hermes you never know. So yeah, I had to share with you guys, because again, I feel like if you know that you're going to Europe and you really want a specific piece, obviously with Hermes you never know, but let's say it's another piece that it's more attainable, that you can walk into the boutique, ask for and get. Louis Vuitton has great savings, YSL, Celine has huge savings as well. So just do your research. I will leave those videos linked down below as to like how you can calculate, you know, what you'll be saving and stuff. But I was so mind blown when I did the calculation after everything and saw how much I saved. This is it. This is the newest edition. This was kind of like the adventure of Hermes for this trip. I'm so excited. I loved the whole experience, honestly, that I have, because even though at first, you know, I did feel like the essay was like a little bit hesitant, I was like, I'm on a mission to hopefully crack the code and be able to get the piece that I wanted. And she was the perfect ending touch to an already so incredible trip that we did have. So can't wait to hear what you guys think. I hope you love her as much as I do. I hope you enjoyed all the little kind of pieces that I did pick up and this all over the place sort of video, but I'm happy to be back. I will definitely be bringing on a lot more videos coming up soon. I have a ton of content that I want to film and share with you guys. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing and joining this handbag style fashion loving family that we have going on. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you for being here and hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye everyone.